The International Medical University presents. Today's topic is about menopause. You see those hot flashes, the change as they call it, and it's all about your body changing because certain parts of the body, such as the corpus luteum, will not be there anymore, so you're not developing the same hormones with the same endocrine organs that you did when you were young. Now the adrenals will be made to take hold of that and work harder, meaning stress is more involved. And if you read in the books, you can read more and more about this, but just how the hormones cycle through that month. But now, after menopause, you see there's a whole different thing, because the corpus luteum no longer exists, the eggs have been spent. And now there's change. And that change depends on the adrenal gland in order to make that change. Because the adrenal gland will be called on to make those hormones. And if it can't, then you can get itchy and bitchy and sweaty and bloaty and sleepy and forgetful and psycho. Because this inability of the body to balance its hormones produces extreme problems in the menopause. And the adrenal glands are there to take over this. But if you are already in a state of hypoadrenia, such as this lady, and if you have all of a sudden had more stress, accumulated stress as per the Chevalier system, then you're going to see that it's going to be very difficult for those adrenals to keep up. And you have hypoadrenia, which makes the menopause even worse, and can create mood disorders and other things. The idea is not to really go into different synthetics because they can produce side effects, but we want to try to balance this naturally. We want to try to balance the adrenals naturally and deal with stress naturally. By doing so, we can help you to deal with the system. Watch most of this video, and then you'll be able to see more and more ideas and get into our books and get into our education at the International Medical University so you can learn more about your adrenals and how to make that change. Oh, by the way, smoking is really bad. It's terrible. Give up the cigarettes. It does nothing for you. And if you take 2,000 milligrams of calcium a day, you won't get the weight gain when you stop smoking, by the way. But protect your heart, because it's very sensitive. Here's some of the herbs that can help you. Try some of these and help them to work with your body natural. Licorice root, some of the other different things. And here's some other Chinese herbs that can help with the different symptoms associated with the menopausal change in time. You can find lots of natural methods, and always choose the natural methods and try them, and try a different natural method, and try stress reduction, yoga, light exercise. Try these things before you go into anything synthetic. Recognize that all of these different herbs are here to help you, and that, as the Bible says, the healing of the nations will come from the leaves of the field. If you eat right, get good nutrition, use herbs as your medicine, use food as your medicine, and protect your heart. A little bit of exercise, yoga, stress reduction. But you have to get rid of some of those foods, like the heavy-duty cheeseburgers and the fats and the different fatty foods. And that change is there to help you. You see, you're changing. In certain ways, you're free.
The ability to be sexually active is an important factor for most women at the time of the menopause. Another new product to help alleviate vaginal dryness that has undergone a positive trial in Denmark is omega-7, made by Pharmanord. This is derived from sea buckthorn, a berry bush naturally found in Asia and Europe. It's been used in traditional Asian medicine for over 1,000 years and has been shown to help keep the vaginal wall supple and well lubricated. For women experiencing severe vaginal dryness or bleeding on intercourse, we've begun recommending they take 2 capsules in the morning and 2 in the evening, and they're delighted to note good success in alleviating their symptoms, and it seems their partners are too.
You gave me omega-7, which was just absolutely incredible. The way it healed the tissues in my vagina.
I thought I'd lost all my sex drive. So I have it all back. I'm feeling wonderful. I'm very positive about the future. I feel very young again in my mind.
It's improved my relationship with my husband. He was very, very understanding, hugely understanding, because it was very difficult for him. So to get our sex life back on track is absolutely great.
Another new product to help alleviate vaginal dryness that has undergone a positive trial in Denmark is omega-7, made by Pharmanord. This is derived from sea buckthorn, a berry bush naturally found in Asia and Europe. It's been used in traditional Asian medicine for over 1,000 years and has been shown to help keep the vaginal wall supple and well lubricated. For women experiencing severe vaginal dryness or bleeding on intercourse, we've begun recommending they take 2 capsules in the morning and 2 in the evening, and they're delighted to note good success in alleviating their symptoms, and it seems their partners are too.
You gave me omega-7, which was just absolutely incredible. The way it healed the tissues in my vagina.
I thought I'd lost all my sex drive. So I have it all back. I'm feeling wonderful. I'm very positive about the future. I feel very young again in my mind.
It's improved my relationship with my husband. He was very, very understanding, hugely understanding, because it was very difficult for him. So to get our sex life back on track is absolutely great.
Menopause is often treated by Western doctors as a disease, but actually it is a transitional imbalance or a change. It is believed in the West that the reason for menopause is a loss of hormones, but if it was true, then why do some women experience no symptoms at all during menopause while others suffers from menopausal symptoms? Menopausal symptoms may include hot flashes, anger, urinary tract infections, irritability, hyperacidity, skin breakouts, acne, rashes, low sex drive, mood swings, and more. In the Ayurvedic tradition of India, still very popular there and becoming more used all over the world, doctors report that women who were eating impure foods containing chemicals, suffered from stress. They already developed imbalance in their bodies. That imbalance becomes clearly visible when women reaches menopausal age, and the women suffer from menopausal symptoms. Women can treat the most disturbing symptoms to find a relief from them. There are some natural products, like Minozac, that bring fast and safe menopause relief. Apart from using such products, a good diet is very important. For hot flashes and mood swings, spicy foods such as chili, cayenne, black mustard seed, vinegar, salty and sour foods should be avoided. Instead, bitter, astringent and sweet foods including vegetables, rice, milk, wheat and pasta, fruit, especially pears and plums, and spices such as cinnamon, coriander, cardamom, fennel and cumin seed should be consumed. For symptoms like memory loss or vaginal dryness, cooked, warm foods that are low in fat, sweet, sour and salty with a breakfast of cooked apples, prunes and figs to cleanse the digestive system should be eaten. All packaged, processed, frozen, and canned foods including leftover should be avoided. Whenever possible, eat fresh organic foods that are cooked fresh on a daily basis. You should eat mostly foods like whole grains, fresh fruit, vegetables and legumes. Avoid meat, cheese, yogurt and frozen desserts. Meals should be eaten at regular intervals as much as possible. Asians who eat lots of soy products suffer from menopausal symptoms much less than Westerners, so you could try eat more soy products, especially soy milk.
Hey there guys, today I'm going to be showing you how to stop a panic attack in just 5 minutes using a really simple 3-step formula. Now most often a panic attack will hit you at the most inconvenient moment possible, and it's just sort of the nature of the beast. You know, maybe the panic attack will creep up on you slowly through a stressful day, or maybe it will just kind of come out of nowhere and hit you like a ton of bricks. No matter what the scenario, it's rarely going to happen when you're in a calm and soothing environment. Now in my experience, I'd usually be in the middle of some arbitrary, moderately stressful activity, and phone calls at work became huge anxiety triggers for me. There'd be times where I would have panic attacks right in the middle of work while I was on the phone or on hold with a vendor or client, and I would just have to immediately hang up. Now, for other people, the scenarios may vary, but it can happen at any time. You might be venturing out of your apartment or your house, and in those few hours, an attack might just strike in the middle of a grocery store, or while you're crossing the street or something. Also, as you probably already know, the embarrassment from having a panic attack in front of others can really heighten the symptoms of the attack as well. Now, panic attacks, especially for those who are new to them, are extremely frightening. And to put it simply, it can feel like you're going to die. I mean, of course, that's not what's really happening to your body, but many first-time panic attack sufferers will describe the event saying, "It felt like I was dying." And you literally feel that you have no control over your body. Your extremities go numb, your adrenaline is racing, your head is spinning, and really there's a whole host of symptoms that you begin to experience. So let's just quickly go over some of them below. What I'm going to teach you will make a whole lot more sense once you see the symptoms laid out. So as you can see, the symptoms include, hyperventilation, dizziness, lightheadedness, heart palpitations, chest palpitations, dry mouth, the list goes on. And you may not experience every single one of these symptoms, but generally, if you're having a panic attack, your symptoms will fall under this sort of umbrella. Now, what I want to address right away is how closely many of these symptoms correspond to the symptoms of a heart attack. When you're having a panic attack, your chest is pounding. I mean, it feels like your heart is just going to pop right out of your ribs. So immediately, for most panic attack sufferers, they assume that they're having some kind of heart attack, and that leads to that ultimate terror that they're dying. And this downward spiral of fear is what feeds the attack and leads the symptoms to escalate further. So up until now, I've just told you about the chaos of an attack. It'll happen when you don't expect it, at an inconvenient moment. You're not going to understand exactly what's happening to you. It's going to be extremely frightening. It doesn't sound like a lot of fun. So let's get to the heart of the problem and fight back with techniques that actually work. Now, for all the reasons listed here, you'll need to know the panic attack self-defense techniques I'm about to show you. And they're incredibly easy to apply during a panic attack, and they work like a charm in any scenario. So I'm speaking from personal experience here. Let's start with step 1. You're going to recognize the attack. And the first step is the hardest for some. You need to recognize the attack. Now, this sounds easy enough, but when your anxiety is really bad, you might be telling yourself, no, not this one, this one's for real, you're really having a heart attack, you're feeling yourself dying, and so on. It could be very traumatic. So step 1 is to recognize the attack and know that you are having a panic attack. And people don't die from panic attacks. It's that simple. You need to believe it. And the utmost belief of this fact is where the power lies. Now, it may take you a minute or two to convince yourself. However, if it's not your first panic attack, then you should be confident in identifying what's happening to your body and your mind. Step 2 is to breathe and count. I want you to ignore everything around you. Nothing else matters. Get through this. That's all that matters. And after you've recognized the attack, you're going to begin to count in your head. You're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and so on. And you're going to be pausing on the dashes. Now, you might be thinking, that's a whole lot easier said than done. When I'm having a panic attack, I can't even think. And that's why you're not going to say or even think the numbers. You're going to breathe the numbers. I want you to take a deep breath in through your nose for the 1 and the 2 count, and then take a deep breath out through your mouth for the 3 and the 4 count. And by the way, you can lengthen the count here. The idea here is to take a very deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. And you're going to practice this routine for a few minutes a day until it becomes an automated exercise for you. And practicing really helps a lot. If you practice in a controlled environment, when a panic attack does hit, this self-defense mechanism will just seem routine. And also, it's very important, if you are truly hyperventilating out of control, when the panic attack hits, breathing into a paper bag will help you get to the point where you can begin this exercise. Once you've regained some control of your breathing, remove the paper bag and begin the counting technique. When you go into these breathing exercises, you immediately shift your brain's focus from fear into action. and you take control of your body and all the symptoms with this one important step. Now, here's why this step is so important. Remember when I told you, it was important that we lay out all the symptoms in the beginning? Now, you probably are already familiar with the symptoms of a panic attack. That's not why I laid them out. I listed the symptoms to illustrate a very important point. Panic attack symptoms occur as a chain reaction to the offset of breathing that happens in the body. And when a panic attack hits, shortness of breath or hyperventilation kicks in. And the change in oxygen intake is what causes the dizziness and the lightheadedness. When those symptoms kick in, your fear escalates, your body goes into emergency mode and begins conserving blood flow and circulation of oxygen. And this leads to the numbness in the extremities. And all this time, further panic has been setting in, and your heartbeats have become stronger as your brain reaches a higher sense of urgency. And the symptoms go on, but my main point here is that it all starts with controlled breathing, because these panic attack symptoms occur as a chain reaction to this offset in breathing. So do not overlook your breathing in the fight against panic attacks. It is an absolutely essential tool. Now, step 3 is finding the root cause. And the calming down step is perhaps just as important as step 2. Panic attacks are traumatic. And soon after an attack, your mind catches up to what has just happened, and a real emotional roller coaster may set in. You may begin to question your stability, how capable you are of handling the world around you. If you've had an attack, it's important to contact a therapist or doctor shortly after. Now, don't get me wrong here. I'm not telling you to commit yourself to years of therapy for one panic attack. However, let's just be honest with each other. Panic attacks don't happen without reason. Something triggered the attack. And it could be stress at work, it could be stress in a relationship, it could be a general anxiety disorder. Whatever the cause is, don't ignore it. Find a therapist or doctor you're comfortable with and begin exploring why your attack occurred. And don't be afraid of the answers you might find. Life is far too precious to spend worrying and panicking. Take the time and make the effort to resolve your panic attacks. Don't put it off, do it today. And I want to also invite you, if you've enjoyed this video, I want to invite you to download a free video that I've posted on my website called Anxiety Free Tactics. The video is about an hour long, and it contains 21 other techniques. This was just one technique. It contains 21 other techniques that will alleviate anxiety, stress, and panic attacks, including how to overcome social phobia, dealing with depression, dealing with nighttime anxiety. I'll teach you acupressure points that you can use to relieve stress within minutes. There's just a ton of natural treatments to help you out. So it's got a step-by-step treatment plan, 21 powerful techniques. The techniques will, give you benefits. You'll start benefiting from them in minutes. And obviously it's totally free. And you can get to it by going to my site at www.stop-anxiety-panic-attack.com. Don't forget the dashes. Check it out right now. I hope you guys found this helpful. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Always remember, you see, it's the control of the breath that helps you to control anxiety and emotions. Anxiety really is when you start chest breathing, and you need deep breathing. And sometimes you need to get that carbon dioxide, you see, because it's the carbon dioxide that stabilizes breath. And sometimes you feel that heavy-duty anxiety. Recognize that that just is a different part of the brain going through its motions. Diaphragmic breathing, deep breathing into the belly. Into the belly. The belly should be going out as you inhale and going in as you exhale. Belly breathing. This belly breathing will help to stabilize the body and stabilize your mind. Chest breathing, like we do with Lamaze, is used to avoid pain. Belly breathing is used to feel pain and to deal with it. Recognize that this is all about empowering yourself and finding ways to stabilize through the change. Becoming better. Liberation. Recognizing that you can make the change and stabilize. You see, the older women, we are the caretakers. And we are here to help people and to spread the wisdom and stabilize and to give that little bit of advice. So recognize that you have to be able to go beyond these panic attacks, the Hispanic attacks. And you'll love the change, and the hot flashes are just there to help you. And I have them too, but I have to deal with them. This is Desiree Dubonnet, hoping that you enjoyed this little lesson from IMUNE.